and gentlemen, welcome to episode 181 of Petey's Awesome Guest Panel. Now, before we introduce tonight's legendary, iconic name, first, let's get down to business, though. First off, I would like to dedicate this episode to the memories of the late, great Jeffrey Garcia, legendary comedian and the voice of Sheen from Jimmy Neutron. May he rest in peace.
Yes.
We miss you. Uh, and joining us tonight, we have our wonderful co-host for the evening. First off, he's a wonderful gentleman, and that is Mr. Dan Ramon.
Hey, Pete, thanks for having me. And Mark, nice to meet you. I've been a long time fan of yours, so I'm glad to be here.
Wonderful. This is awesome. Also joining us tonight, the lovely lady from the land from down under, Miss Jessie Devine.
Hi, guys. Thank you so much to be here.
Oh, you're in for a real treat, Jesse. And tonight's guest star, let me just say, I'm not only excited to have on, but you know what? As a longtime fan of this gentleman, though, I can honestly say that it's going to be a fun show because tonight's guest star, everyone, is a gentleman who I like to think of as a jack of all trades. And by that, I mean this gentleman has done everything you could think of. He ran the gamut. He is a voice actor, a television host, a comedian, an author, and one that made me personally smile today, and that is a foodie. He is a legendary name, as I said before at the start of this program, and he is the star of Jimmy Neutron and Father Neutron, Hugh Neutron himself, Mr. Mark DeCarlo! Welcome, Mark. How are you today, sir?
You guys, thanks for having me on your program.
Oh, it's an absolute honor. We've been fan of yours for a very long time. I'm starting to feel like the little kid just having you on, Mr. DeCarlo.
It's got to be thrilling. It really must be thrilling.
It is. And we got surprises for you, sir. But before we get to that, though, we're going to get down to the question, though. And this is going to be a typical cliche question, sir. And that is, how and when did you get your first big break into acting? Take us there.
I did plays and such in grade school. And then in high school, my best friend's two older siblings were on the main stage at Second City in Chicago. I grew up outside of Chicago. So as a 14-year-old or however how old you are when you're a freshman in high school, we would sneak into Second City because you had to be 21 to get in there. And I'd watch his brother and sister do funny stuff. And then when I found out they were getting paid and that was their job, I think I subconsciously figured, well, that's what I want to do. And I started doing comedy in high school. I came out to UCLA and started doing stand-up with a group of really funny, successful people. And my last real job was selling ladies' shoes in high school. I haven't had a real job since.
Huh. Very cool story, sir. And before Jessica has to ask this question, though, too, I just want to ask, too, like, in regards to voice acting, though, when portraying a character, though, like, what is the, how do you balance, the character's personality with your very own? In other words, like, what is the key to making a character seem more authentic?
Well, a lot of it comes from the writing. In the Jimmy Neutron show specifically, we had a bunch of great writers, Gene Grillo and Steve Banks and Steve Odenkirk. So the character designs that they show you when you start, and then the scripts as they would come in, were always very, very funny. And we had a very, very funny group of people cast in the show. So I took a look at what Hugh looked like. And I remember when I auditioned, the woman that plays my wife on the show, Megan Cavanaugh, and we were both in Second City together. So instead of auditioning just by myself, I told the producers, hey, I know this funny woman. We want to read for the parents together. So we came in and we read together. And because we had been working together for 10 years, we were, we had a mojo going and we were funny together. And I just thought it would be funny. Jimmy's supposed to be such a genius. I figured it would be funny if his dad was an idiot. And I just kind of played him. I play him like a puppy, like an excitable puppy.
Let me say, Mr. DeCarlo, that you just absolutely nailed the role as Hugh Neutron, though. Like, I remember, we're going to watch this later on, though, but your delivery was just absolutely perfect, though. There was a segment that you did called Hypercorn, and it was a thing where Jimmy Neutron, where you were like, cream corn, now pretend it's something good, like like something really good. Like old mom's good cooking. Like, I just love how your delivery was. It's like, it came off very real, like, it didn't even feel like you were reading the script.
No, well, I mean, we did, but the way we did it was unconventional for the time, and it's almost unheard of now. We would all read together in the same studio. So We were spread out with baffles between us so the sound wouldn't bleed. And we would read every scene as written once, go through it top to bottom. Then we would go back to the beginning and do what we would call a crazy pass. And during the crazy pass, anybody could say whatever they wanted. And everyone was a really good improviser. Rob Paulson, Megan, funny. Jeff was a great improviser. So the fun of it was trying to just say stuff that no one knew was coming, and then that forces you as an actor to react in a new way. So a lot of and to their credit, the producers of the show, Steve Odenkirk and Paul Marshall and Banks and a bunch of other people ended up using a lot of the improvisations in the final cut. A lot of producers and writers are very precious and want you to do it word for word. But I think because we had such a really talented improvisational cast, they realized it would be stupid to throw away all the funny stuff that we would do when we were just screwing around. And they ended up using it. I know people come up to me all the time in the street and quote lines that Hugh said. And I know so many of them no one would ever type because they were just so stupid. But they would come out of whatever was happening that day. And it was a really fun job. My first animated movie's coming out next year called Pinocchio and the Water of Life, and we recorded in the same way. We had everybody in the same room, and people were. We told people to improvise and play off each other, and I think it's the best way to do comedy. If people are comfortable with the improvisation, some people aren't, but most of the really famous voice actors that you know of do it really well.
I see. Miss Divine, your first question?
Any methods or approaches?
Are you in Australia, Miss Divine?
Yes, I am.
Wait a minute. Are you physically in? Oh, that's fantastic.
Yep. Anyway, any
and
methods
they have
or approaches?
cartoons in Australia?
Yep, I think so.
All right.
Most of them.
Okay. All right, cool.
All right. Anyway, any methods or approaches you do to prep yourself for a particular role?
Well, once you're on a series and you know the character really well, I would just read the scripts the night before, and we record every Friday. We had a 4-hour session at Nickelodeon every Friday. We'd come in, we'd have some coffee and some bagels, and then we would just go through the show in order. And like I said, once you've been doing it for a while, you can kind of click into it. As I'm auditioning for new roles or doing a role for the first time, I always just look at the drawing. I ask to see what the character looks like, and then you try and come up with a voice that matches the physical shell of the character, or goes completely against it, and then try and find it. It's the same as on camera acting. You have to mentally inhabit the persona of someone that's not yourself. And once you click into that, everything flows rather easily, right? If I'm supposed to be playing a plumber, I just have to start thinking like a plumber. What's important to a plumber? Copper, knowing how to weld, knowing how to upcharge the lady to put an extra faucet in, worrying about my butt crack and where I'm going to have lunch. And it just changes how you think. And once you can find something in a character that you can mentally latch onto, then it's acting. It's just regular acting. You can't use your body. You have to use your intonation and your voice.
I gotta ask too. We're talking about Jimmy Neutron here, though. Memories. I gotta ask you, what was your memories of getting of your audition for Jimmy Neutron and landing the role as Hugh Neutron?
Well, like I said, Megan and I auditioned together, and I had an improv group here in Los Angeles at the time called the Frayed Knots! And we had a weekly residency at the Improv and the Laugh Factory and a place in Long Beach called the Comedy Club. So I was out doing comedy 3 or 4 nights a week. some producer came up to me after the show and said, "Hey, I'm producing this new cartoon. I think you might be funny for one of the roles. Do you want to come in and audition?" And I used to make little funny radio plays, and I always was recording my voice with my friends when I was little. So I said, "Yeah, I love cartoons. I think Looney Tunes are the best cartoons ever made." So I said, "Yeah." And I said, "I got a friend. He told me it's for the dad for this new show." And I said, "I'm going to bring in this lady I know, and we'll read as the mom and the pop." And they said, "Okay." And they gave us the script. And I think we read the pages. And then instead of stopping at the end of the scene, we probably kept talking in character and just riffing back and forth. And sometimes that's bad if the producers want you to just stay on script. But the people that, lucky for us, that they welcomed the improvisation. And it's also a way to flesh out the character, especially at the beginning of a new series. No one knows, the characters are wafer thin. As opposed to after doing 100 episodes, there's a lot more story to every character. So we just invented a bunch of stuff and kept talking until they told us to shut up.
Wow.
In fact, that's my best advice for every actor. Just keep talking until they tell you to shut up.
That's some strong but powerful advice, sir. Dan,
Yeah, should be a t-shirt.
I agree. Dan, your first question?
Okay, first thing, couple things. I'm glad I'm not the only Chicagoan here. Glad you're a fellow Chicagoan, Mark. And what's funny,
Yes, I am.
yeah, what's interesting too is I was doing some research. You and my brother went to the same high school. You're both Bennett people. Yeah, two fellow Red Wings. So
Bennett
that's really
Academy
cool.
in Lisle, Illinois.
Yeah,
Who's your brother?
Alex Romano.
Oh, all right. Yeah, that was a great. I loved going to Bennett. I went to 12 years of Catholic school. I went to grade school at St. Joe's, which was a painful, stupid ordeal. But once I got to high school, the teachers there were fantastic, and my brothers and I all went there, and really great school in suburban Chicago. And that's where I started acting. I started doing plays there, and happened to fall into a group of really talented people, and super fun.
It's so cool. Plus, you mentioned Second City too, which I had to visit there one of these days too, because I mean, all the legends came from there. A lot of people forget that. But what's funny is, well, I like Jimmy Neutron. I like other works of yours. I like the Thumb movies, like those. Me and my brothers, we
Those
quote
were weird,
those.
right?
Oh, they're amazing. But we quote them all the time. But my question would be, again, since you're a fellow Chicagoan, what's your Portillo's order?
Combo, sweet and hot, dipped, with depending on how hungry I am, a piece of Eli's cheesecake afterwards. But definitely the large combo with the hot Italian sausage, hot peppers, sweet peppers, dipped, wrapped, and then when you eat it, you have to stand up and lean. Otherwise, it just gets all over your clothes.
Oh, yeah. And then would you do the chocolate cake?
Sometimes, like for a birthday, or if we would want to pretend that it's somebody's birthday in our group. Yeah.
Yeah, because
there's a
it's pretty good.
Portillo's out here it's delicious. There's one out here in California down by Disneyland, and a Gino's East just opened up here a couple of years ago near Universal Studios. So I can get my beef fix over by there at Gino's.
Oh yeah, they were. Did you ever have Johnny's Italian Ice? They were pretty good too.
Yeah, on Taylor Street, right by
Yeah.
UIC. Yeah, Italian. Yeah, Chicago. I did an on-camera food show for the Travel Channel for 5 seasons, and we went all over the country. And I would say Chicago is. I think New Orleans is probably the best American food city, and I say Chicago is next because you have all the pockets of all the ethnic groups that have pretty much stayed intact over time. You know, you got the Polish section, the German section, the
Yeah.
Italians, the Asian section. And if you think about it, when immigrants come to America, regardless of when, in the 1900s now, really the only thing they can bring with them are their recipes. So some of the best food you will find in any big city is in a crappy little mini mall, in a tiny little restaurant run by immigrants, because that's all they have, right? They have these delicious recipes that they bring with them. And if they know how to cook them well, people enjoy them and they make money, and then they can go on and do other things. So I'm a big foodie.
It's
I love
true. I agree with that.
authentic, delicious food.
Well, I gotta ask you, since we're on the subject of food, though, this is actually gonna lead to my next question, Mr. DeCarlo, and that is, whenever I'm not fasting, there are times, sir, I would fast until the dinner bell rings, figuratively. But when I'm not, I'm in, like yourself, sir, I'm an absolute foodie, and I know you worked on a lot of production companies, and sure enough, most of them had a lot of catering scenes. So my question pertains is, what was the best catering scene you ever been part of, and what was your particular favorite meal in catering?
Ooh, that's a good one. Car, commercials, on-camera commercials usually have the best catering
Ooh.
because they have the biggest budgets per day. I did an Amazon commercial earlier this year, and they had like lobster and prawns and pasta and pesto and all kinds of really good food. I don't like eating before I act, though. Because then I feel like sluggish and, just I don't feel sharp. I like to be cold and hungry when I'm working. And then afterwards, I go and I sit down and I try, tie on the food bag. But yeah, I would say that getting lobster for an Amazon commercial. And they had a really delicious pesto too.
Very cool. And much like you,
I don't know
sir,
the name. I don't know. Remember the name.
much like you, sir, I'm the same way too. Like I can't eat like before I have to do something. If I have a task at hand, I got to do that task first before I eat. Though I can't like mentally, I can't do it. Like I'm not gonna be like I can't enjoy it unless the task is done.
Yeah, well, the blood is in your stomach. You're processing the food. You have less brain power, and I just feel sluggish and unmotivated. But if you're hungry, you're a little lighter on your feet, think a little faster. Now, if you haven't eaten for 6 days, I don't think that that's true. I'm talking just regular not eating.
I see. And I gotta ask you too. Did you have a favorite non-Jimmy Neutron project that you've worked on?
Cartoon
Oh, anything, live action, cartoon,
or show?
hosting, you name it.
Yeah, I hosted I really loved working on the Travel Channel with Taste of America. That was a fun show. I've been to 400 cities in America, met a lot of cool people. I do a lot of corporate speaking now, and I enjoy that, going into companies and teaching how improvisation can help communication and wellness and that kind of stuff. I've as you mentioned at the top of the show, I don't have a career where I've just been doing one thing. I kind of follow what interests me, and then I do that until something more interesting comes along. So I've had the opportunity to do a lot of different cool things, met a lot of really interesting people, and I just like people. I like talking to strange, weird, eccentric people. That's my favorite thing, I would say.
And it's hard to find someone like that, though. Someone that is a people person and someone that doesn't limit themselves to one thing, though. And that's what I absolutely respect and I think is very cool about you, though, Mark. We're going to show a first clip, though, before we get back into more questions, though. And this is one of the 3 clips that I prepared for you in your honor. And this is a Jimmy Neutron. And this is how I became a fan of you, though, as a kid. This is how 12-year-old Petey became a fan of Mark DeCarlo. And it's from this clip.
All right, Pete.
We're going to watch right now. I'm going to go ahead and pull it up. I want to see if everyone can see it. Just let me know when everyone can see it, and we will go ahead and start. All right. Can everyone see?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay. This is the pure brilliance of Mark's comic genius.
Jimmy Neutron, boy genius in Hypercard.
Hey there, boy, you want a bone? Huh? You want a treat? It's a hypercube, Goddard. With this, I I can store an infinite amount of stuff in this little tiny space. Cool, huh?
Jimmy, dinner's ready.
See you, boy.
Adios. Here you go, son. It's cream corn. Good for the digestion.
It looks like somebody already digested it.
I don't want to hear it, young man. Now eat. It's good for you.
Just pretend it's something really good. Like all of Mom's delicious dinners. Anyway, honey, how was your day?
Well, I rebuilt the compressor on the old upstairs unit.
Oh, the one that make the pookin' sound?
Yes, only now it makes more of a splee sound.
Brilliant!
That was sure delicious. I am stuffed.
Well, where that came from, son?
Oh.
Perhaps you could take a look at my car. Lately, it's been making a pop, 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 pop sound.
Are you sure the tire isn't flat?
Only on the bottom. What you got there, son? Is that a brain teaser puzzle? I'm so good at this. I used to be president of the brain teaser
Dad,
club
Dad,
in high
it's
school.
not
Give me,
really
give me, try. Watch this.
Hey, don't do that.
No,
Don't do that.
I think I got it now. I'll just here we go. Hey, look, dear, I won.
Oh, that is good.
I thought you were really good at that.
For more Jimmy Neutron, keep watching Nick.
Well, what'd you think?
I think that's
Pretty good.
just clever ideas in every script. You know, having a machine that has everything in it, that's a clever idea.
I just loved your like the whole thing was just perfect, especially when delivery were like, "What you got there, son? Is that a brain teaser puzzle?" I'm so good at these. I used to be president of the brain teaser. Give me, let me try that. I just loved how it just felt so natural.
Like Hugh would ever be the president of anything involved with brain. I don't think so.
We're gonna show more clips later on, though. But before we do, we'll get back to the questions, though. Mr. Vine, your next question.
Oh. All right. What's your favorite Jimmy Neutron episode?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't remember all the title names. I think Brobot was a pretty good one. When Pants Attack was a good one.
Oh, that was a good one.
When Hugh gets fired from the car place when he was selling cars, that was fun. He always had different jobs because no one would hire him for long periods of time. And it's weird because when we would record, typically we would record an entire episode and then we would go back and do little chunks from stuff that we would already have recorded. So I don't have a really good fix on what chunks were in which episode. And we would record them and then they would send the radio plays off for the animation and we wouldn't see the completed episode until 10 months later. So it wasn't a very long, stretched out process. So it's hard to go, know. But they were, I never had a bad time at work. I was going to work with some of the funniest people on the planet. And we laughed our asses off every day, all day long. It was a fantastic experience.
That's beautiful, Mark. And I gotta ask you too, because actually this is a two-part question I have for you, sir. And you don't have to take this one seriously, but you can answer anyway. First off, I gotta ask you, how does it feel to be a legend?
I wouldn't know. I don't think I am a legend. Although my softball team has won the Beverly Hills Championship several years, many years. So I'm in my own mind, I'm a softball legend. But it is fun to be lucky enough to have a character out of all the ones that I've done that people really latch onto and that people enjoy. That doesn't happen all the time. So I appreciate how people appreciate the show and what we did. So that's always fun.
Very cool. And the second part I have to my question too, and this is a more serious question too, and that is, what do you think of the impact that Jimmy Neutron has caused on both old and new generations of fans 23 years later after its initial release?
Well, back when it first came out, if a kid in a sitcom or a cartoon was smart, he was the butt of the jokes, he or she.
Yeah.
They were nerds. They were made fun of because they were smart, and they were never the star of the show. Jimmy was the star of the show, and the fact that he was a smart nerd was not made fun of. It was celebrated. He was made fun of because he would always go off the rails with his, genius inventions and such. But I think it made being smart cool.
It did.
So that's a good thing.
Totally. Dan, your next question?
My question would be, again, I have to bring it back to the thumbs because I just love everything about these. I'm curious because for those they used your voice, but they also used your eyes and your mouth. So how did Steve and all them go about recording you guys? Did you record in front of a green screen or in front of a green screen for that, or how'd they do that?
No. Steve Odekirk is the guy that did all the Thumb movies. He was also the creator of the Jimmy Neutron series. Yeah. So I forget. I think Jimmy came first, and then Thumbs came after that. And I remember Paul Marshall, one of the producers of the Thumb series and Jimmy Neutron, calls me one day and he goes, "Hey, Steve wants you to come down to his house. He's got an idea to do a movie called Thumbtanic, where it's going to be a bunch of talking thumbs." And I literally said, "That is the dumbest idea I've ever heard." He goes, "No, it'll be fun. It'll be fun." So you go down there, and he built a rig with 2x4s and a vise. And we put our heads in this vise so that you couldn't move your head. And all you could do is act with your eyes and your face. And a stationary camera would shoot you. And then he took this part of the video, and they took a bunch of thumbs, put clothes on the thumbs, did it like a puppet show, and then they electronically put the video of the face onto the dressed up thumb, and that's how they did it.
Okay. Because I was curious how they did it, but now that makes sense. I love them though. Again, I quote them all the time. I was just watching Bat Thumb recently, and even though you got that one little part in it, it's so memorable. The Moose, that's your on island. You better be careful because there's bacon outside. This might be good for you, but what about the bacon bits, people? It's just so memorable and great, and just plus too, if I may say, I think you're cutting yourself a bit short too, as you're an Emmy winner for God's sake. So I mean, you're a big deal. That's especially for Chicago. So and hey, anything that's
correct.
So I think that's really
yeah. I did a lot of fun. I was on that Windy City live show for a decade, and we did a lot of funny stuff on that show. That's where I won the Emmys. The thumb stuff turned out to be hilarious, and there is another feature-length movie that has been completed but not released yet, a Thumb Wars parody, and I don't know when Steve's going to release it, but I've seen little pieces of it, and it's really weird and really funny.
That's what makes it so great, though. That's to me, a lot of these, it's where I get my sense of humor from. So it's just, I just love them. Steve Odekirk's hilarious. So
I know, right?
Really is.
Especially as Snotty Boy from Barnyard.
Yeah, no, he is a very creative, very funny, very hardworking genius. He writes, he directs, he was one of the first people to get into motion capture animation. He had a special on NBC before Jimmy Neutron, even, I think. So he is an innovator, and he's just a funny dude, fun guy to hang out with.
Any related to Bill and Bob Odenkirk? Or no?
No, it's Odekirk. O-E-D-E.
Oh, my mistake.
Odekirk.
And I didn't even know I had no idea, Mark, that you won Emmys though. That just gives me something to introduce you next time when you come up for part 2. That just gives me more of a proper introduction to give you. Because thank you for telling me. I had no idea you won Emmys, so I gotta make your introduction for the second show more valuable now.
Yeah, it's gotta be all about the Emmys.
Oh, don't worry, Mark. If you come up for part 2, though, we have a ultimate best of Mark DeCarlo, in which we're gonna show a nice 2-hour compilation video in your honor.
Oh, that'll be exciting.
Yeah. One of the other questions I have for you too.
Can you guys even see? Can you see the traffic that I'm dealing with here?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Not really, no.
Oh, wait.
I see the trees, I see the
Holy
sky.
smoly!
Lovely.
Whoa.
Yeah, this is
I'm
just
just kidding.
this is regular
Whoa.
traffic. I'm about to drive past the world famous Hollywood Bowl.
Oh, I've heard of that.
That'll
Oh,
be amazing.
Conan O'Brien.
2 miles an hour.
Wow, Conan O'Brien actually performed there when they did the Simpsons songs there.
He
Yeah.
did. Yeah, I mean, everybody's performed there. The Beatles, the Who, the Stones.
True.
It's a famous venue nestled in the Hollywood Hills.
Very cool.
It's right by Universal
Mhm.
Studios.
I want to visit Universal Studios one of these days.
Dan, you'll love it, Dan. Like, 'cause I went there last year. You would absolutely love it. As a matter of fact, I'm actually gonna go there next year in California. So can't wait to go back. Especially Disneyland and Universal. What I had a question too.
Yeah.
Mark. One of the questions I also had for you too, Mark, is how did your experience on Jimmy Neutron's led to other future projects, whether it was acting or non-acting? In other words, what came after Jimmy Neutron?
Let's see what came after Jimmy Neutron. Right after Jimmy Neutron, I started doing that the Taste of America on the Travel Channel. Then I did Windy City Live, and I've done some movies and Curb Your Enthusiasm and science.
Yeah.
And, you know, every job leads to the next one. You just you don't know. The one thing about show business is you don't know what's ahead. It's not like you're punching a clock and working 9 to 5. You do the job, and then you hope people like it and call you to do more stuff. So it's a hodgepodge, and if you can thrive in that uncertain environment, then it's for you.
That's very fair. Before we have a couple more questions before we wrap up though. But before we do though, I want to highlight your live action appearances too. Now I have prepared a special clip for you that's a live action, not an animated this time though. Your appearance on Sale of the Century, and this is a 2-minute clip that I took from that episode because I just want Dan, I want Jesse, and I want everyone to see how charismatic Mark DeCarlo really is. Like, and it's not just animation; it transfers over to live action as well. So we're gonna Yep, and we're gonna go ahead and show that clip right now. And I just thought you were just so charismatic, sir. Let me go ahead and share screen, and let me know when everyone can see it.
All right, share
Here we
Okay.
go. Can everyone see?
Yep.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yes.
Mark DeCarlo on Sale of the
Scores a fortune in cash and prizes, including this Nissan 300ZX and $50,000 in cash. In total, over $100,000 on Sale of the Century. And now, here's the star of our show, Jim Perry. Hello there.
This is gonna be good.
Oh, wait till you see Mark's spot.
Delighted to have you join
Okay.
us of the
His-
century,
his
and this
spot's
gentleman's
just
been
priceless.
joining us for a while now and cleaning up. Mark DeCarlo.
Yeah.
Mark.
Yeah.
Added a fur coat on the last show, sports car before that, almost $45,000 in cash and prizes. Very, very good champion. Are you ready to go again today?
I'm ready as I'll ever be.
All right, now there are just 3 prizes left up there for you. There is a computer system. There is a cruise to Mexico.
I won it.
$10,000 in cash.
I won that.
Yeah, American, yes.
That's so cool.
So
All
cool.
there. Good luck. Here to introduce the challengers, Summer Bartholomew. Hello.
This right here, Mark, I thought you were just so fucking hilarious.
He confuses me because on the winner's board, when he selects his prizes, he looks at one number maybe on the left-hand end, and he picks another number on the complete end. It totally confuses me, and I follow their eyes. So
Why do you do that, Mark?
He's schizoid, I guess.
So I just had to share that. So yeah, your time on Sale of the Century.
Changed my life. I was in college at UCLA, and I needed money to buy a car. I was driving a used Chevy Malibu at the time, and I wanted a convertible because when you live here, you got to have a convertible. So I applied to be on the show. They picked me. I was on Sale of the Century. I was on 11 episodes in a row, and I am the all-time champion on that show.
Undefeated?
Which is undefeated, all-time champion, which is why I never had another job. Got a bunch of prizes, made some money, graduated from UCLA, and I told my parents I'm going to give show business a try. And if I'm not supporting myself in 2 years, then I'll go get a job. And I got lucky. I started getting hired for commercials and television shows, and I've never had to get a real job. That was a huge turning point in my life. I don't know what I would have done if I didn't if I hadn't won.
But I'm so happy that you won, though. And by the way, congrats on the car, though. Beautiful car. And,
I ended up winning a red Toyota Celica GTS.
ooh.
Sweet cherry car.
Do you have a favorite color car? Like your preference?
Blue.
Okay.
Like cubby blue. Like a dark cubby blue.
Shiny or solid color?
You know, I always like the shiny colors, but the matte finishes, I think those look pretty cool too.
I agree.
And the car I have now, I have seats that look like baseball gloves.
Oh, it's beautiful leather.
That baseball glove, the baseball glove leather.
I was gonna say
because, as we all know, the greatest place in the universe is Wrigley Field.
Yep, that's fact.
Well, denied that. Let me say this, Mark, too. You are a man of so much words. You are a man of charisma, confidence, and words. With that being said, though, is there any advice that you would like to give to the viewers watching? And it could be advice on anything.
Figure out what you enjoy doing the most and make that the center of your life and the focus of your career. Because if you love doing something, you're going to be good at it. And if it's something that people pay people to do, you'll be able to make a living. Don't just chase money, because that's kind of an empty pursuit. But if you always are trying to do what you love, you'll always be happy.
Stern and beautifully well said, sir. And before I get to my final comment and question, though, I'm going to pass it over to my wonderful co-host for this evening. First off, Jesse, your final comment and or questions for the legendary Mark DeCarlo.
Okay. I love to work in Jimmy Neutron ever since I was a little kid growing up. And it's great to learn about you too.
Well, thank you.
Very cool.
I'm glad you enjoy it. We're catching a whole new generation of kids now. People your age and a little older are having kids, and they're, the kids watch the show, and it's like I said, we all know how lucky we are to have stumbled into that show, and I've been on a lot of shows, and they don't all have the staying power. For one reason or another, we got lucky. We had great writers, great producers, and a really talented, funny cast, including our buddy Jeff Garcia, who passed away recently, sadly. He was always late, always hilarious, always very open and loving, and would come up with the wildest, craziest stuff during the crazy passes. It was a privilege to know him and work with him and work with everybody on the show.
That's awesome, sir. And Dan, your final comment and or question.
Mark, it was so cool to finally meet you again. Just I adore your work and the movies, and hopefully one of these days, like if you're ever back in Chicago, let me know, because I would love if you would sign these for me, or just hang out in general. I think that'd be really cool. But thanks again for coming on the show, and just again, so glad to finally meet you. And Pete, thanks for having me on.
Always a pleasure to have you on, Dan.
You're very welcome. We can meet in the left field bleachers during a Cubs-Cardinals game, and I'll sign whatever you got.
Sounds good to me.
Well, Mark, I'm going to get to my final comment. I have a lot that I want to say to you. Personally, that I've always wanted to say when I was a kid, and it's basically a thank you message to me. But before I get to that, though, I have my final question, and that is, what's next for Mark DeCarlo? Now, sir, this is the part of my show where my show is open mic night. It is, you can say anything you would like. I am passing the proverbial microphone to you. The floor is yours, Mr. DeCarlo.
Right. I won't take the floor, but I'll take the car. I got a movie that I wrote and produced, and I'm in, called Pinocchio and the Water of Life. It stars Jonas Kibriab, the guy who played Elio in the Pixar movie Elio. coming out next year, and it's kind of a reimagining of the Pinocchio story with all new characters, and it's very fun. Robbie Paulson's in it, Mo LaMarche, Phil Lamar, Tom Kenny, Megan Kavanaugh, Yenny Alvarez. Really good, fun cast, and been working on that for several years, and now it's done and will be coming out soon. I also do a show on right now. It is on YouTube. It's J-Ron the Alien, J-R-O-N, and my partner and I have a system for real-time animation where we can do a cartoon character live to air. So we're doing some of that, and we did there's another character we do live to air called Boffo the Bear, and you can find some Boffo the Bear stuff on YouTube as well. I'm backing up. Can you tell it I'm backing up?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Let me say this too, Mark, before we wrap up. I just want to say thank you again for this amazing interview. This was an absolute honor having you on, though. I just want to say too, you have this incredible gift, sir, where you could take a 35 next month 36-year-old dude and bring him way down here, make him feel like that 12-year-old watching Jimmy Neutron back in 2002. And to give you an idea what 12-year-old Petey looked like at the time, well, this is what 12-year-old Petey looked like watching Jimmy Neutron. To give you
Love it.
So that's how long I've been a fan of yours, sir. And Mike, I have to ask, will you be interested in coming on again for part 2, where we will not only pay tribute to you, but we have a special video we're going to pay tribute to Jeff Garcia as well?
Absolutely. As long as my introduction includes the Emmy Awards.
Oh, it will. You bet. Had I known that
starts with the Emmys. You start with the Emmys,
yes.
Then you talk, and then more Emmy, and then Emmy. So you have to mention all 3 Emmys before you actually introduce me. Otherwise, I'm not coming back. Not doing it.
We will give you an introduction for each Emmy, sir. Don't you worry. And last
fair enough. Yeah, sure. I'll come back.
Last but not least, sir, we want to give you a high thing. We're going to end on a positive note, though, and I feel like you deserve this, sir, and that is thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Mark.
Have a great night, sir. Thank you again, Dan and Jesse, for coming on. You guys have an awesome night. I am going to post this interview pronto. It's going to be up. I'm going to send everyone a copy immediately. So everyone have an awesome night, and I will see everybody.
Thank you, Pete and Dan and Jesse. It was really fun talking to you guys. You made my commute so much more entertaining.
You're welcome,
Mark. Glad I could help with that.